Diets dominated by processed starches can give the illusion of nourishment while quietly setting the stage for malnutrition. It's a paradox that confuses many. How can someone who eats regularly, perhaps even in excess, still suffer from nutritional deficiencies? The answer lies in the concept of empty calories, a term that describes foods high in energy but low in essential nutrients. Refined carbohydrates like white bread, instant noodles, white rice, crackers, sugary cereals, and baked goods are the primary culprits. They provide a quick source of glucose for energy, but deliver very little in the way of fiber, vitamins, minerals, or antioxidants. The result is a diet that fills the stomach but starves the cells. Processed starches are stripped of their natural components during refinement. The bran and germ, the parts of the grain rich in B vitamins, magnesium, zinc, and fiber, are removed to increase shelf life and improve texture. What remains is almost pure starch, often enriched with synthetic nutrients to replace a fraction of what was lost.
But this enrichment is partial at best.
It may prevent overt deficiency diseases like beriberi or pellagra, but it doesn't provide the full spectrum of nutrients required for long-term health. A person eating a starchy, processed diet may meet or exceed daily calorie requirements while remaining deficient in key micronutrients like iron, folate, potassium, vitamin D, vitamin A, and omega-3 fatty acids. This creates a dangerous situation, one where people feel full, have energy to function in the short term, and yet their bodies are undernourished. It's especially problematic in children, whose growth, cognitive development, and immune function rely on a steady supply of diverse nutrients. A child raised on white rice, sugary snacks, and processed bread may appear normal in weight, but suffer from learning difficulties, frequent infections, or fatigue caused by latent nutrient gaps. Adults are also affected, often in more subtle ways. Persistent tiredness, brittle nails, thinning hair, poor skin quality, and a higher risk of chronic diseases are frequently linked to long-term micronutrient insufficiency. Compounding the issue is that these starchy foods often crowd out healthier choices. Someone who fills up on refined grains is less likely to eat fiber-rich vegetables, protein-dense legumes, or fatty fish packed with essential omega-3s. The body is not just deprived of nutrients, but also of the components that support gut health, stabilize blood sugar, and reduce inflammation. Over time, this can lead to metabolic dysfunction, compromised immune defenses, and cognitive fog, symptoms that may go unrecognized for years while the dietary pattern continues. And then there's the deceptive nature of marketing. Many processed carb-heavy foods are labeled with words like whole grain, fortified, or natural, giving the impression of health when they are, in fact, highly refined products. A breakfast cereal that claims to be whole grain might still be loaded with sugar and offer only a trace amount of real fiber. Crackers or breads labeled as multigrain often contain multiple types of refined flour, not actual whole grains. These subtle distortions keep people unaware of how nutritionally hollow their daily meals have become. Micronutrient deficiencies caused by a high-starch, low-nutrient diet don't always scream for attention. They creep in slowly, degrading quality of life before any diagnosis is made. Iron deficiency might cause subtle fatigue and pale skin. Low magnesium can result in poor sleep or muscle cramps. Inadequate B vitamins may be behind your irritability or brain fog. These are the signs of a body that is calorie-fed but biologically starved, a condition that's far more common than most realize, even in wealthy, food-abundant societies. The long-term health consequences are serious. Studies have linked high intake of refined carbs with increased risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and even depression. While the immediate gratification of starch-heavy meals can be tempting, the cost to cellular health, hormonal balance, and organ function grows quietly but steadily. By the time symptoms are obvious, the deficiencies may be deeply entrenched. To avoid this hidden malnutrition, it's not enough to simply count calories or aim for fullness. True nourishment means choosing foods that are dense in micronutrients: leafy greens, colorful vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, whole grains, eggs, and unprocessed proteins. These foods support every system in the body, from the brain to the bones, in ways that refined starches simply cannot. Prioritizing nutrient-dense meals over empty calories may require effort, but it's the only reliable way to escape the trap of being overfed and undernourished. In a world where food is abundant but quality is increasingly compromised, the danger of a starch-heavy diet lies not in its quantity, but in its hollowness. It sustains life in the most basic sense, while quietly undermining it at the cellular level, a slow, silent erosion of vitality disguised as normal eating.